Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Bladespark83 coming at you from Navezgane in 7 Days to Die. Today we're going to be going over the vanilla vehicles and the carry capacity and possibly why you would want to get to them, the benefits that they have, so far the pros and cons that I have found, and of course this is for the newer players that haven't got to experience these vehicles yet, they haven't seen them, or what it takes to get these vehicles. It is a little bit of a grind, but it is well worth it once you get them. To start off with, you're going to need intellect leveled up to where you could get Grease Monkey tier 1, and you end up getting the bicycle or able to make the bicycle once you have your forge and your workbench. Now, the storage in it's pretty moderate. You know, it's a couple extra spaces, but it's still a couple extra spaces that you don't have in your carrying pack. So you don't have all of this opened up yet with your pocket mods and whatnot on your armor and your clothing. This thing's pretty sweet. It gives you a couple extra spaces to go loot a little bit more so you can get those levels or bring back all the stuff you want and not play the what do I want to keep game. But anyway, it doesn't take fuel to operate, of course. It's a bicycle. It works off your stamina of your character, so hopefully you got at least 1 point in Sexy Rex. You have a bunny hop that helps you get over difficult terrain. There's a sprint to get you around quicker, but you're going to find out that this sprint is going to eat your stamina really fast early on in game. You're going to want to use this moderately. But early on, it is definitely worth it to have the little bit of extra carrying space. It doesn't seem like much, but that little bit will mean a lot to you early in game. Next we have the mini bike. It takes about 2,000, 2,500 fuel to fill up. And if you come from console to PC, or you remember the old mini bike from early on, you had to get this basket here separately once you built it just so you can have storage capacity. It's not like that anymore. Now, once you build it, it has storage capacity, which is nice. You don't have to go hunting for a basket to break down with a wrench to put on it, so you have triple the amount the bicycle has. And early on in game, this thing is amazing for getting you your stuff, getting you where you need to be, out sprinting hordes of zombies. It will do it. It's really nice. You need to have your intellect leveled up, and you have to have Grease Monkey 2 to get this one. But once you have it, it's pretty awesome. You have the regular drive feature, which is easy on gas. You have the bunny hop feature to get you over difficult terrain. And if you need to get out of there quickly, there is a sprint button. Like I said, if you came from early versions of the game or you played this game on console, you have a love for this thing already, and you know what we're looking at. Moving on. The awesome Road Warrior motorcycle. This thing is sweet looking. Does it do damage to things when you run it over? It sure does. I don't know if those spikes cause any other damage, but hell, it looks cool. This takes probably double the fuel to fill up as the mini bike does. I'm not really sure. I never paid attention. I just fuel them up and go. But when you get down to it, the storage space for what this is awesome. It's another row bigger than the mini bike. You have this much extra backpack to carry all your stuff. The vehicles don't feel encumbrance. when you do. So if you don't have all your pocket mods on and you've made it to this point already, which I hope you do, but this lets you carry a pretty decent amount of stuff. This happens to be one of my favorite choices in the game just for the speed of it. It sounds awesome, and it's really good at getting through difficult terrain. You could get the things in this game super fast on this thing. Is it worth leveling up to Grease Monkey 3? Hell yes, this thing is worth it. Now, I don't know how many of you have come from old school 7 Days to Die and that you're returning to the game just because, you know, you needed to take a break from a while with everything going on with the Fun Pimps. That's for another time, another discussion. But if you did come back from that time, or maybe you're on console and you're trying to figure out what the vehicles are like on PC because they gave a shout out about, oh yeah, another bullshit story about, oh, we're going to go to console, we're going to go. They'll go to council when they get to council, so here we are. The look around feature, the free look when you're driving these vehicles, minus that gyrocopter over there, the free look around, you don't have that anymore. Where you look on these vehicles is the direction that you are driving. The free pan look around and going one direction's gone. Is it a bad thing? It's not horrible, but it takes a bit to get used to. Moving on, we're going to check out the Jeep. If you're into carrying tons of loot, getting long distances, and not having to fuel up a whole bunch, this is your bitch right here. It takes a ton of fuel to fuel up, but it also does not use, as far as I know, as much fuel as this bad bastard right here. This thing will eat up fuel if you use the sprint in it quite a bit, but for carrying capacity, this thing is huge. It is awesome. It'll get the job done for you. Look how much crap you can just jam in there. This thing's sweet. It sounds badass too. But now, this being a Jeep, this is not exactly an all-terrain vehicle. Will it get over some difficult terrain? Sure. But you're going to notice if you hit jagged spots and you're thinking, oh, it's a Jeep, it should go everywhere. Wrong. You get hung up quite easily in this thing, and it is due to that little son of a bitch down there. Aesthetically, that thing is awesome, but it hangs up on everything. Your Jeep is really a flat ground runner and hauling a bunch of stuff. This is your city vehicle. Get in, grab as much shit as you could grab, toss it in there, and get out. Anything other than that, you're probably going to want to use the motorcycle for if you're going over rough terrain. It just gets hung up real bad. Is it worth it? Yes, in the right application, but I don't know if it's worth the crazy grind. I don't know. I ground it out just because I didn't know what it entailed. I didn't find very many videos on it, so that's why we're here. And it's alright. That thing's a badass, and it looks sweet, so I got one. And for the other guys that come on here, they ground out, and they got themselves each one as well, just so they could go and haul a bunch of shit themselves. So it must be decent if 3 out of the 4 players on the map use them. Now, this thing. I'm going to tell you right now, you need a goddamn engineering degree to fly this thing. It is not easy, but once you get the hang of it, it's still not easy. Will it do the job for scouting and opening your map up? It will most definitely do that. It's awesome for that. It has an awesome amount of carrying space, but for me, getting in and out of missions, doing the trader missions with this thing, it's not very practical. It's more of a, I'm going to try and land on a skyscraper vehicle, crash, fall down to the ground, and not take any damage. It takes very little fuel to get it filled up. The buttons are a little strange. But once you get it off the ground, it's pretty smooth. You want to stay above the trees if you can. Pick open areas to land if you can. Bunch of common sense stuff with something that is just squirrelier than hell. Anything you bump in this thing is going to send it off into 0G. You're not controlling it anymore. But once it's in the air and you figure out how to keep it level, you figure out that if you hit the sprint button, you're going to be moving distances at a good rate. This is an amazing scout open up the map vehicle, especially if you're playing on a random gen map. You don't know where a whole lot is, but you got to the point of getting this. And it's right, this thing's pretty awesome. It's badass in its own right. So hopefully that cleared up a few things for some of you that don't know about the vehicles in 7 days. And if you got something out of it, well, then I did my job correctly, and thank you very much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me, and it really does help us all out. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.